to redo the whole thing here. So, oh yeah, I moved them over, didn't I? Okay, so let's get rid of this group here. And I'm going to go to my IK right here, and I'm going to get rid of these keys here. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'll start with the IK and the FK, and then I'll move up to constraining. And hopefully that'll get everybody caught up for today. All right, let me just answer this for a second here. Okay. All right. So when you see the rings and you have these joints here and you rotate them, so that's FK. When you've got the boxes at the feet, that's IK.
Okay, yeah. But okay. You can change the controls on different keys?
Yes.
Okay.
So for this rig, and this can be different for different rigs, but for this guy right here, the switch is all these blue pluses that you see all over his body. That's where the switch is hidden.
So that's the one that will switch his whole arm to IK?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm in my channels right here, and I look at my channels, and this very top channel right here is called FK-IK blend. So that is where you turn the IKs and FKs on.
And 0 is FK and 10 is IK.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to, I'm just going to muck this up and not be too precise about it. But what you want to do is you want to figure out the frame where his hand hits the counter. And you want to mark it somehow. You could put pieces of geometry around here, or you could go to create and locators and pull in some locators. Let me go back and so I put the locators around his hand just to mark, where it is on the counter and all that, so I can line it up better. Okay, so when you select this guy right here and I switch it on, it's going to snap his hand out into space, which is why I need this locator to line him up with. Okay, so right here, this is right before his hand hits the counter. I'm just going to go, so I've got my little plus selected, and I'm just going to click on this and key it at 0. So 43 is when I want his hand to turn into IK and be stuck there. So I'm going to come and turn this into 10. The only reason his hand is staying there so nicely is because I actually already had animation on this, because I already did it yesterday. Normally his hand would be out here somewhere and I'd have to bring it back down and place it back on here.
So between key 43 and key 52, it's an IK?
Well, actually, I think I left it an IK for the rest of the scene.
Oh.
Okay. So you don't have to. Okay, so I'm doing so he slaps the counter at frame 42, and then he leaves his hand there for a while. So as long as you see the red box on his wrist is in IK. So what I did is I just kind of left his hand in IK for the rest of it. I could turn this off. If you wanted to turn it off, what you do is you just go back to the plus on his shoulder. You set one key to tell it the last frame you want IK. So maybe if it was right here, I'd key that. and then I go to frame 106, and then I turn this to 0 and key that, and then his arm would be back into FK.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. For some reason, I thought I had to turn it off.
Okay. So the root is right here. It's the blue control around the waist with the arrows. Okay, so let me jump ahead to, let's see where we are, maybe this scene right here. Okay, so let's see where we are in this. Okay, so the coffee cup's not constrained anymore. Or actually, in this scene, I have not constrained it yet. Okay, so when I have two referenced objects, so the rig is referenced in and the coffee cup is referenced in, Maya doesn't like grouping things and parenting things to them. So it's a little bit easier for me to do a constraint. The nice thing about constraints is you can animate them turning off and on. So if I wanted to do something like I wanted him to pick up his coffee and then put the coffee back down and let go of it, I would do that with a constraint because it's easier to turn that on and off. If I did the grouping method, I would have one coffee cup that's stuck to his hand forever that could never be, if I ungroup it, then it's not stuck forever. That's the thing about grouping, is it's either grouped or it's not grouped. You can't animate it switching on and off. You can't change it. So if you group the coffee cup to his hand, it's always there, meaning you need a second coffee cup on the counter and you have to make one visible and one invisible. You can do it that way, but it's a little bit extra work, and if you want to change the timing of your animation, it's really a lot more work to find all of those keys and to move them all together. So it's a little bit easier just to have one coffee cup and constrain it. So what I want to do is I want to figure out about where does he grab the coffee cup. And let's say that frame 96 here is pretty good. I'm going to move this out just a little bit more. Okay. So just like when I turn the IK and FK on, I'm trying to look for that moment, like right when he's still in motion, right before he hits the table, is the spot where I want to do the switch. The coffee cup is the same thing. I want to do the switch right when his hand gets up to the cup, and then I want to turn the constraint on. So what I want to do is I want to choose a control, probably the base of his finger, to attach the coffee cup to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one of these controls at the base of his finger, like maybe the base of the index finger or the base of the middle finger, or the ring finger. Any one of these, it doesn't matter. We'll just choose one. So I'm going to go with the middle finger here. So when you're constraining, I need to change this to the animation menu up here. So I go to animation, and now I have a constrain menu right here. So the way it works is you choose the driver. The driver drives the cup. So the hand is the driver. So I choose the driver, and then I choose the passenger. So the cup is the passenger in his hand. So I want all the movements of the hand to move the cup. So select one control in the finger, then I use shift and select the ring around the coffee cup. I go to constrain and parent constraint. So I know when it's turned on because my channels turn lime green, and I get a brand new channel here called blend parent. So blend parent is how you tell the constraint that is on or off. Now, frame 96 is going to be right as he grabs the cup. So frame 96 is going to be where it's on. So I'm going to go ahead and just key this at 1. Then I'm going to come one frame before. So I'm going to go from frame 96 to frame 95. And I'm going to set this to 0. And key that. So these keys are on the ring of the coffee cup. That's where the constraint control is on the ring of the coffee cup, because that's what's being constrained. There's no keys on this middle finger control right here. We're not doing anything, we're just attaching something to it. But all of the constraint information is on the cup. So now the cup is free, and after frame 96, the cup moves with his hand. And all I would have to do now is just rotate the fingers so it looks like it's making a nice grabbing pose.